Foulin Out. John, what are you doing?
I just scratching myself, getting myself all groomed up and ready for this excellent day of podcasting with you, Raymond. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're out here recording episode 19.
Episode 19, yes.
Of the podcast. Next one will be the big 2-0.
Foulin Out turns 20.
Yeah.
Well, in episode length.
Yeah,
not
years.
Well, I mean, it could be like a dog. We could be like episode years and stuff.
Instead of okay. I mean, that is entirely possible, I suppose. Almost as old as us. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm 21 and you're 43.
Yeah. Little known fact. I'm actually an elderly gentleman, ripe old age at 74, going back to college, just trying to, rejuvenate my life, find purpose again.
You look young for 74.
Thank you.
I put you in the 40s, but I mean, I was giving you a little. I knew I was lowballing, but
yeah,
you do look in shape.
Thank you.
Look pretty swole, as the girls always say.
No one says that. No one says it like that. Literally. It sounded like you were... What is wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong. I'm just having a good time.
I don't even know where to go from there.
Well, let's just get right into things. So, MLB trade deadline came out July 31st, and we got some big movers in this.
Big news, yeah. Astros added Greinke to the roster. They already got Verlander and Garrett Cole. Now they got Greinke. That's 1, 2, 3, brother. That's a vicious rotation. Especially, you got round one, or the first series is 5 games, right? So you're gonna pitch 1, 2, 3. So you're gonna. What would you do? Would you do Verlander and then Cole and then Greinke, or would you Greinke Cole? Because I feel like Verlander just got to be one.
It all depends on like who they're playing too. So looking at the wild card and stuff that they're gonna be playing, so like Indians or Red Sox or Athletics, it all depends on how you think you compare to that team's pitching that day. And also keep in mind that wild card team will have already played their best pitcher in the wild card
it's
game.
Gonna be a 2.
So you may not want to put your best pitcher out there unless that second pitcher's like really, really good.
Yeah.
But you could put your best pitcher out there and pretty much get a quote unquote guaranteed win.
Hey, nothing's guaranteed in postseason baseball.
Exactly. I mean, October baseball's something special.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's all up to them. I mean, Garrett Cole has been lights out. Verlander's been really good, and Greinke is a total boss when it comes to this.
He's the ace for Arizona.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a good problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
3 pitchers that could realistically start game 1 in this series, and then it's going to be up to the manager.
It's like when you're a kid, like a little day, like Saturday morning and stuff, and you get downstairs into your basement, and you have your Bionicles there, and you're just like, oh, which Bionicle do I want to play with today?
Why are you talking about Bionicles? Is it because of last episode when I mentioned how many Bionicles I owned?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, I do have a really, I do have an interest in Bionicles.
Yeah. There's a lot of different Bionicles, actually. There's some that look like spiders, some that look like human beings, some that look like big giant people. Mm-hmm.
Some that have like tubes coming out of them and stuff.
Oh yeah, I have one of those. They got tubes and stuff. I'm gonna be honest. My vernacular, my Bionicle based vernacular is a little bit rusty. I don't know. It's been many years. As a 74-year-old gentleman, sometimes my memory fades.
Yeah, it comes and goes and stuff.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, man.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Who are you? Where are we?
I don't know. Whatever it is, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
But they also got some other players on the team, and Biagini and Sanchez. Sanchez was part of that combined no-hitter that the Astros had yesterday against the Mariners.
Yes, sir. And Maldonado, a catcher.
Yep. Good. Another person to add to their hitting rotation. All in all, the Astros got pretty well-reviewed and well-criticism from baseball analysts.
Yep. They did a good job.
Yep. I think they're now the main They're the team that everybody's picking to win the World Series.
Yeah.
We'll be getting to that in one of our later segments, but for now, let's continue moving on.
Yep.
So, getting into a little bit of your neighborhood with Red Sox and Yankees, both teams that are contending for the playoffs. Yankees are probably going to get the AL East. Red Sox trying to hold on for a wild card, although they are slumping like
crazy,
like an old person's back.
Oh yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, but anyway, what did the Red Sox need to get in the trade deadline, and why did they get nothing?
Well, what they needed is relief pitching. They already got the hitting.
Yeah.
In theory, they have a decent starting rotation with Sale and Price as their 1-2, although Price has been okay and Sale has not been very good.
And Price has gone on paternity leave.
Yeah. So, in theory, that's not what they needed, although now it's become pretty clear that, maybe they should have invested in Greinke or someone like that. But they really needed relief pitching. They needed to get a closer. They should have gone after Green, but they didn't.
Or Melanson.
Or Melanson would have been a good pickup. But they didn't. And they they did nothing. They did nothing at the deadline. And it's looking like the front office is content with being just a wild card team. I mean, there never really was much of a chance they were going to win the East.
Especially with the Yankees being so good this year.
With how good the Yankees are, there was never really a chance. But, you'd like to see the team try and fill the pretty evident issues they had with the way their pitching staff was built up. And now with the additional problems of Sale and Price being either out of commission or just plain bad, it'll be interesting to see how they can find ways to win games over this next month. Because with the 7-game losing streak, they got to turn it around. They're 5.5 games out of the wild card spot. Something's got to change. And that starts with the pitching staff.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to start there. But the thing is, they're already past the trade deadline, so they have to work with what they've got right now. And I don't know exactly how their future schedule's lining up. I mean, nothing can really be as hard as what it is right now, going up against Yankees and Rays back-to-back.
This was their biggest opportunity to gain ground, playing 4 series, 2 against the Yankees, 2 against the Rays. Rays, a team they're chasing in the wild card race.
And the Yankees, a team they're chasing in the AL East, even though theoretically they are.
Yeah, and, it's just they're a playoff team. You want to win games against playoff teams because at the end of the day, when it comes to October, you're only going to be playing playoff teams, so might as well show that you can win them now. But they started off well, 5-2, and it's just been downhill from there. 6 straight losses. I guess 7 total straight losses. And not really showing any signs of turning it around.
Not really. That doubleheader yesterday was awful. It was absolutely horrendous. I mean, granted, the ump was pretty bad, and we'll get to that too. But Sale looked shook. He had an inning where he gave up 8 hits.
Yeah.
It was really bad for them. And the second game, same things going on. Bad pitching, and their hitting wasn't just... I mean, when you score a whole bunch of runs, like they average... How many runs did they average a game? Like 5?
It's up there. They're one of the better hitting teams in the MLB. I believe they're, first in the American League?
I think they're first in the American League, yeah.
And runs scored.
Differential, they're pretty... They're high up there.
Yeah. But they can put up runs in a hurry, but at the end of the day, when you're starting pitching, your pitchers come out, first 3 innings, they're giving up 3-4 runs a game like it seems they've been doing over the past week or so. It's hard to come back. I mean, you're basically trying to stage a comeback every single night, which is not only physically taxing, but also mentally for the batters. You're not playing with the same freedom as you usually do if you have a lead. And it's also going to affect the pitchers coming in. They're not going to be getting clean innings, and they're not going to be pitching with a comfortable lead. They're going to be pitching from behind, and that's not what you want that's not what you want as a relief pitcher coming in.
Yeah, and it's sort of just a shame. I mean, because they have such a great hitting staff. Bogarts, Mookie Betts, Benintendi. They have all these guys that can hit. Martinez. Devers is pretty good. Bradley's sort of had a off year. Although
he's never been a good hitter, but
he did hit a dinger yesterday.
Yeah, he's always been hot and cold kind of guy. Got hot in the playoffs for us last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a bad player.
I mean, just the amount of pressure on their shoulders right now, because they have to know that their pitching and their bullpen is SHIT.
Yeah.
Crap, because that's what it spells here on our Christian Minecraft server.
Yeah, we would never curse on this podcast.
But it just must be difficult for them knowing that it's pretty much the same team as last year. You know, plus minus a few guys. They lost their closer.
They lost Kimbrel, Kelly. Who else did it? They kept a couple guys in the bullpen, but I mean, really, in terms of their lineup that they're putting on the field, it's the same.
It's the same one.
Pitching staff, you know, Sale and Price, Rodriguez. Those are their big three pitchers in the starting rotation. It's really only the bullpen that's sort of seen a lot of turnover, but. I mean, at this point, that's not their biggest problem. It's their starting pitching right now.
Yeah. Well, the Red Sox, as we talked about, did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely did, nothing at the trade deadline. But surprisingly, the Yankees didn't do anything either.
Yeah.
So they must be feeling pretty comfortable with the team that they've got right now.
Yeah, there's been a lot said about their pitching staff. In the month of July, the pitching staff, or their starting pitching staff, has given up over 7 runs a game, which is pretty bad.
Yeah.
But they got a good record. They're still finding a way to win games. It's easier to believe in your guys when the team is still trending in the right direction.
Yeah, and especially when you have such a great hitting staff, when you got guys like Judge and Stan who are finally back. Those guys that can just usually get a dinger maybe every game, every other game. Something like that. It sort of takes the pressure off of guys like Herman and Sabathia, even though Herman is absolutely lighting it up out there. I mean,
definitely a bright spot for him.
3 ERA, 13-2. He did a real good job against the Red Sox yesterday, only giving up 2 runs. One of them was a solo home run by Bradley. So, if I were the Yankees, obviously the bullpen could be better, starting pitching could be better, but I think they are pretty comfortable with what they've got, and I don't really see a whole big problem with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting come postseason. See how they're able to go up against these more mammoth lineups. I think that was why people are looking at what the Yankees decided to do to sit on any trades. Not go after Greinke. I think it will be an issue, right? You can't go into the postseason with 2 guys you trust. You need more than that. But at the same time, them doing nothing isn't as bad as the Red Sox doing nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I think their hitting staff is a bit better. But moving on, talking about the local team around here, the Nationals, picking up a few guys, Strickland, Elias, and Hudson.
Yeah.
So walk me through a little bit about these guys, what they bring to the team.
Strickland, he was really good when he was on the Philly? No, he was on the Giants, right? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
And he hasn't been good for the Mariners. He only pitched 4 games and then ended up going on to the IL. But he's back. He pitched 1 game for the Nationals. It was 1 inning. It was 2 Ks. Didn't give up any hits. We looked good. It'll be interesting to see how that pickup pans out. It's hard to tell if he'll be able to stay healthy and if he can be as good as he once was, because he definitely was a very good relief pitcher when he was on the Giants.
Yeah, the Nats definitely need relief pitchers.
Yeah.
They are absolutely bad. Awful.
Yeah, they have the worst bullpen in the MLB in terms of earned run average. So they got Strickland, Elias. I don't know much about him. He was on the Mariners. He's not, his statistics don't look very good, but I haven't seen him in person. But at the end of the day, just take what you can, throw it at the wall, see what sticks. And then Hudson, he's got a 3 ERAs from the Blue Jays. Some of his other statistics aren't as impressive. He walks a lot of guys, gives up a decent number of hits, but not a bad pickup. I would say the Nationals, I'd give them like a C+ for this pickup. They did something. I think it is a net positive, but they missed out on some of the bigger guys. Guys like Green and Melancon, who they're rivals.
Yeah, who they're going to be playing in their division, because I think the Braves and the Phillies did a better job, even though maybe the Phillies didn't get as many guys, mainly only one guy that we'll get to, but the Braves getting Green and Mark Melancon, the former Pirate, who was an absolutely he was a stud out there in the 9th inning if you needed him.
I mean, Nationals had Melancon for a season.
Yeah, and didn't do that well with the Nats. But
he was okay.
Yeah. He had a 1.21 ERA at one point for the Pirates.
Yeah.
He was absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah. So 2 great pickups for the Braves, who have also a problem in the bullpen, not as bad as the Nationals, but I mean, we'll see how it pans out, but for all intents and purposes, it seems like they solved that problem, picking up 2 great relief pitchers.
Yep.
Green, he's got the nice moniker of closer and also all-star. So getting an all-star closer definitely isn't going to hurt your club. And then Melancon, as you said, very good. And then the Phillies got Dickerson, another Pirate.
Yep, another Pirate. This one a more recent Pirate who was actually on the team this year. Batting over 300, getting a few dingers as well. Overall, great player. Pirates, what do they get in exchange? We'll be talking about that in a later segment. I have a few words for that. Finally, to close it out, Indians trade Bauer for Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, interesting trade. I mean, Indians are definitely looking to make a push in the postseason, and a big part of that is getting a good right-handed bat.
Trying to get the first place in the AL Central as well. It's tight with the Twins.
Yeah, with the Twins. Yeah, I think it's a great pickup for the Indians. Obviously, giving up Bauer, he's a very good pitcher. But I think this is going to be a net positive. I mean, Puig is, a guy.
He's fiery.
Yeah.
He can light a fire under your teeth.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I think that was a great move by the Indians. Maybe you'd like to see them do a little bit more, but I think they're poised to at least be competitive down the stretch. Maybe make some noise in the playoffs. I probably wouldn't pick them as a favorite or anything, but definitely a move that's getting them in the right direction. Is that all we got?
I think that's all we got for the trade deadline. I mean, we also talked a little bit about that Red Sox-Yankees game that was pretty bad, and for your Red Sox, we'll get a little bit to that in our favorite segment. But for now, something came back this past Thursday. Something huge. Flew under the radar. I had no idea about it. It never started this early in a long time.
Really?
It usually starts like August 4th or 5th or something, and never August 1st. But the NFL is back. Hall of Fame game, Thursday, August 1st. Broncos and Falcons. Broncos end up winning that 14-10. In a game that, had everybody snoozing.
Yeah. Not a very interesting one until the last few minutes there. Exactly,
yeah. With a bobble catch from Winfrey, guy who played his college ball in Colorado. Never heard of this guy before. He was a 6th-round pick. But hey.
6th round pick 6-round picks never turn out to be much anyway.
Yeah, was he drafted like 199? That's basically 200.
Garbage.
Yeah, absolute garbo. Nobody cares. But in reality, that's probably his only Kodak moment in the NFL.
You never know.
There was the first pass interference challenge by Denver.
Yeah, very interesting. So it was a play, a classic fly route, and then the cornerback, obviously a younger guy or maybe a guy I don't know anything about him, but he puts the hand on the collar, which is a clear no.
But the offensive player was fighting back a little bit. Too.
Yeah, there's some hand checking, but if you're a cornerback in this league, you know you're on the short end of the stick, right? If you put your hand on the collar and do anything, you're going to get a pass interference. So he does that, gets the pass interference call. Ball was about 5 yards away. It
wasn't very catchable.
Yeah.
The receiver gave up on the route.
Yeah. Neither of them seemed like they had any intention of catching that ball. And flag comes out. Denver says, well, that's stupid. So they challenge it. And the wording of the rule is clear and definitive evidence that the defender did not impede the progress.
Or did not initiate.
The contact?
Yeah, the contact.
So, pretty typical vocabulary for a challenge rule set, clear and definitive. It's going to be interesting to see how it's implemented, because on this one, they lost the challenge.
I think they could have won because usually when the receiver has any complaint or is there any like remote thing of pass interference, they usually, bitch and moan and stuff to the ref. Maybe this guy was young and didn't know how to do that.
Yeah,
but the Falcons the Falcons receiver didn't complain at all.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some veteran members on the sideline that were definitely complaining and stuff and wanting a flag. But, I don't know.
I feel like they're going to be very delicate with this pass interference rule because, one, they don't want it slowing down the game. So they don't want to encourage coaches to challenge every little ticky-tack foul. They're going to want to implement this rule in a way that it seeks to resolve the problem of that big Saints Rams missed pass interference. Yeah. They want that to be this. They want this to be the solution for a play like that, not to be a solution of maybe this could or couldn't have been a pass interference call. I think we're still going to see a lot of stupid pass interference calls that won't be overturned.
Yeah, I think because it's hard to overturn a call, as we know in this league, and especially when it comes from the refs themselves too on a penalty. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's just going to slow down the game, and it won't really do anything except enrage fans because they'll look at it and be like, yeah, that's not pass interference, and then they review it, and it's just like, it's still pass interference. There was no definitive evidence. The call stands 15 or 54 yards for the bomb. Because, what if you're an offensive coordinator now? You just tell your guys to, run fly routes and throw the ball to them and just initiate contact. It doesn't matter. Or just dink and dunk. Mm-hmm. There's no mid-game anymore, just like the NBA. There's no running.
Mid-range game. Yeah. I mean, in this league, wide receivers and even more so quarterbacks are sacred. You can't touch them anymore. And there is a part I understand, safety. We don't want these players leaving the league with some insane traumatic brain injuries. I get that. But at the same time, these guys have been playing football all their life. If they were so I feel like there is some level of acceptance with the dangers involved with any sport, not just football,
or any job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously if you're working, 9 to 5 job, you don't expect to I mean, I think the worst thing you get is like carpal tunnel in your index finger from clicking the mouse.
Or your wrist, that could hurt. But
Yeah.
what about if you're working in the Bakken oil fields up in North Dakota? Or what if you're a soldier, for Christ's sake?
Yeah, I mean,
Are you going to sue the U.S. government for I was shot in the arm?
yeah, at the end of the day, it comes down to what dangers are expected in the sport and what dangers go beyond the scope of the sport. So, in the case of football, obviously no one would ever complain, oh, I got injured because a guy wrapped me up and my leg got caught and I broke my leg or something. Like, that's gonna happen. It's not an injury that is 100% preventable unless you want to change the game to like touch. But at the same time, I understand why the league is cracking down on helmet to helmet contact, stuff like that. But then it takes away from, it literally changes how you play the game.
Yeah, and I mean, cornerbacks and safeties were the first one to get all involved with this, with defenseless player rules.
Yeah.
You can't target, all that kind of stuff. It used to be only spearing, where you lead with the helmet, for 2 yards and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, like head first.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the rule for, I think, since the 80s or 90s or something like that. But now it's just if your helmet just touches the helmet of the other guy, or now even your shoulder or something, you can get flagged 15 yards. And those targeting fouls aren't just fouls on the play. They are fines, too.
Yeah.
So there was that one quote from one of the Redskins secondary players that's just
Are you good, bro?
yeah, I'm good. This is just part of the quote.
Oh, he coughed.
He was just talking about we can't go for the head or the body anymore. We have to go for the legs and risk, ending that man's career with an ACL injury.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, a concussion isn't going to end your career. But an ACL tear, you're done. You're done for at least 10 months. Yeah. And it's questionable if you'll come back with the same speed and agility as before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's at the end of the day, though, your brain is not going to heal the same way as an ACL will. Worst case scenario with an ACL injury is maybe you get some ligament damage there, and you can't run as good when you're old. But your brain, that's something you need it forever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've always been in favor of upping the salary cap for NFL. I mean, these football players are getting paid less than some chump sitting on the bench on the Cavs.
Yeah.
Some dude Osman, C.D. Osman.
Yeah.
That dude's a chode. That dude's getting paid $8 million.
What do you got against C.D. Osman?
I don't know.
Man?
He's just he's on the Cavs. Cavs suck.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I'm just assume if you're on the Cavs, you suck unless your name's Kevin Love.
Mm.
That dude's probably getting paid $6-7 million just to
He's
sit.
a rookie though, and he also doesn't sit. He starts.
God, the Cavs are awful.
Actually, I don't know if he starts. I might have just made
No,
that
is
up.
that Colin Sexton that we're talking about? Sexton's good.
Cedi Osman, he's I think this coming year will be his third year in the league. I think he started a little bit for the Cavs when they were really in just I don't give a shit mode.
Tanking for Zion.
Hard. Yeah.
And they couldn't even do that, right?
Yeah, idiots.
I mean, but that dude is getting paid so much more than a dude on an NFL roster.
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
I get that there's 55 men on the NFL roster, so it's hard to spread it out a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But the NFL Players Association or the players, they have to broker a better deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like they always get shafted by Roger Goodell.
Yeah, maybe more guaranteed money, like the NBA, how contracts are guaranteed.
Something, because okay, I'm not a big fan of CBAs and collective bargaining agreements and stuff like that in regular workplaces, but Jesus Christ, the NBA does it way better. Adam Silver seems like he actually cares about the players instead of just give me more money, Roger Kraft, it just seems like a lot of different industries and different sports actually care about their players. Hell, soccer cares about their players a lot more. At least in America. In Europe, it's different.
It's weird.
It's really weird in Europe.
You can sell, you own the players.
Yeah. But baseball, you don't hear anything bad about baseball because like people just accept like, oh yeah, you got traded. And it's like, but hey, you're getting paid millions of dollars to do that. Hockey, they get treated fairly well too.
Mm-hmm.
So football, I think something does have to change with that.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. And, kind of transitioning into that, we got 2 running backs. Melvin Gordon and Ezekiel Elliott both holding out because they feel like they deserve to get paid. And, I talked about quarterbacks and wide receivers sort of being held sacred in terms of like the way the rules are written, but also the way they're getting paid now because of how the landscape of the game has evolved. It's a passing league, so obviously you're going to pay quarterbacks and wide receivers. And then you got great, Ezekiel Elliott, a great young player in this league. Melvin Gordon.
Right in the prime of his career.
Melvin Gordon, also in the prime of his career. Maybe dealt with a few more injuries than Ezekiel Elliott, but, fantastic running back. And neither of them seem to be able to get the contract that they want. And that seems to be a trend in the league. Patriots have created a dynasty off a quarterback. They haven't had, they've had a lot of different impactful running backs, but it's sort of been a turnstile. You had LeGarrette Blount for a while. You had Shane Vereen back in the day.
Sony Michel now.
Sony Michel. Danny Woodhead. I'm trying to think of who, Deion Lewis more recently. James White recently as well. Marshall Faulk from back in the day.
Oh, God, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Going way back. These are guys that when they wanted their payday, they went to a different team. And now you look at all the other teams in the league, they're starting to wisen up and be like, hey, why would we pay a running back when we could just draft one and pay him a rookie contract and it'll work just the same? Because
for 5 years or 4 years or however long rookie contracts are, let it expire. And, usually by that time, the running back is either wants to go to a different team or has been cut.
Yeah. It's crazy. It really is crazy. I understand why teams are doing this. Like, I'm not saying, like, teams should always pay a running back that's been on their team for 4 years. Like, I understand you have to spend your money where you think it will be most effective. And if you don't think your team needs to pay a running back, then you should let them walk. But at the same time, these guys, they get so much mileage. It's not like a wide receiver where you get maybe targeted 10 times a game and then make like 6 grabs. You're probably, you're going to carry the ball 18 to 20 times.
And get targeted for receptions too.
Yeah, nowadays you're expected to be able to catch it as well. I get it's not the same as back in the day when you would carry it like 40 times and then like die by the time you're 25. But it's still, you get a ton of mileage and by the time they're ready to get their next payday, finally get off that rookie contract, they have a ton of mileage on their legs and teams are ready to move on. So how do you think, like, if you're Gordon or Elliott, how do you approach this?
Well, I'll talk about it from like a top-down perspective. I'll talk about it from like the team's perspective.
Yeah.
So, the team has the team's best interests at heart. And they have to be able to divvy out the money to be like about what they have at their salary cap in order to keep players at all positions on their team and not keep them from going, somewhere else. Because they've got to make sure that Phillip Rivers stays. They've got to make sure that Keenan Allen stays. They've got to make sure that their whole O-line stays and everything and all on defense stays as well. Or that they can maybe go out and get a better cornerback or a better linebacker. So I understand it from the team because it's sort of like your own mini business.
Mm-hmm.
They're like Jerry Jones is running his own mini business, and that's what they have at heart, at keeping the business or the team successful. Because I at some point, like, there is money involved as well, like making money, but these owners and stuff already have made enough money in the end that I don't think that that's a big goal for them.
Yeah.
The place where money is a goal for the NFL is the NFL itself. And I think that's where the heart of the issue lies. If I'm Melvin Gordon, if I'm Ezekiel Elliott, I would want to be working with my team. And I'd be wanting to work with my team's owner and tell him to go to the Roger Goodell and be like, hey, up the damn salary cap. Come on. We're taking on all these health risks now with CTE and all this kind of stuff. This would be the perfect time to do that. And players, to be fair, have been doing that. It's just the NFLPA is a terrible representative for them. Mm-hmm. It has gotten shafted in every CBA that they've done. So if I'm Melvin Gordon and if I'm Ezekiel Elliott, like Melvin Gordon's come out and says like he loves the Chargers. Yeah. He wants to be on the Chargers. So I get it. Zeke's sort of a douche. I don't like Cowboys at all. Yeah. And Zeke's had domestic violence issues too, so I don't respect him all that much, although he's a great player. Mm-hmm. But Melvin Gordon, he wants to be a Charger. He just knows that, okay, I've had a few injuries. I want to get some, paid now. Yeah. I don't know what the Chargers are offering him in terms of like where he would rank in terms of highest paid player on the team, but probably at least top 5. I would say
easily. He
just probably wants to be top 3, maybe like the second most paid behind Phillip Rivers. Mm-hmm. I understand that, but at the same point, he also has to realize like you're playing a game for money. At the heart of the issue, you do have to realize that. But the issue isn't with the Chargers. The issue is with the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so you're saying it's bigger than just pay the running back more money. It's allocate more money to the teams to spend so that they can in fact give this money.
Exactly. Okay. So maybe increase the overall level that teams can spend. Mm-hmm. Now, what those teams do with that extra cash, I don't know. There could be unintended consequences like that, because you could have a team like run by Dan Snyder that'll just go after old free agents and pay them more money and disrespect the players that they currently have.
Or you could see the wide receiver and QB market get even more inflated.
Yeah, and unfortunately that will probably happen. But I do think that there's something needs to be done about that.
Yeah, I think, and it goes back to the rule changes as well. If the rules that are implemented weren't there, I think you would see the running backs still be a major part of the game. And I think it's also on running backs as well. I mean, it's tough for a guy like Melvin Gordon just because of the way he's built, but you see in the NBA, centers adding the 3-point Al
shot. Horford, Brook Lopez.
Yeah, they added the shot. They saw the way the game was changing. I think running backs too, they need to be a dual threat running back. They need to be
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And easier said than done. I think developing a 3-point shot is way easier than turning yourself into a dual threat running back, especially if you're a guy like Melvin Gordon or like Garrett Blount. I don't know if that's even possible for them.
Yeah, because not only are you going to have the regular responsibilities of a running back, so not only to just rush the ball, but also to block.
Yeah.
Because running backs are crucial on what if they're bringing 6 guys, on defense. He's the guy that has to take out that linebacker coming up the A-gap.
Hey, remember in the Super Bowl 51, Devontae Freeman, he missed Hightower on the strip sack, and ended up being a key play in the Patriots comeback.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, thanks for your wise insight there.
No problem.
At the end of the day, though, the market will pay what the market will bear. Mm-hmm. So if receivers are getting these ridiculous contracts, that will probably ebb and flow back. I mean, I don't think that they're probably going to get as many contracts or as high contracts in the future. And I think the teams will start to realize the importance of those running backs if those running backs develop those skills. Mm-hmm. So if they do develop those skills, so let's say Todd Gurley gets better at catching, although he's already really good at that. He will probably be the second highest paid player on that team, without a doubt.
I think you look at, they got Aaron Donald as well. That team is stacked with star talent. So it
all-star receivers too.
Yeah. Jared Goff isn't even, I don't even think he's near, he might not even be top 10, I want to say, because of his... He's
on the rookie contract still. I think he has another 2 years.
that it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens when they need to pay off. They're gonna be letting a lot of those guys go. That's a story for another day, though. You want to move on to our favorite segment? You got anything else?
I think that's it for the NFL. At the end of the day, it's just simple economics, you know? But our favorite segment,
Who Fouled Out?
All right. Raymond, I've been up here talking about all this NFL stuff. I'll let you take it first. I know you have a bone to pick. Oh. I have a bone to pick, too. But I'll let you get to your rant first.
So I'm fouling out the umpire, Mike Estabrook. I've never heard of this guy.
Can you give us a little bit of background?
Here's why.
Yeah.
Red Sox, Yankees. Let me start off. I want to come into this rant from the perspective, like, I want to make sure that I am being as objective as possible. I'm not here to say Chris Sale is having a phenomenal year and that if he had gotten, if the calls had gone his way, that Red Sox would have won that game. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, from an objective perspective, that umpiring was some of the worst umpiring I have seen all year.
And to be fair, it wasn't just you or me that think that. It's all of the recaps that I've read.
Yeah. Yankees, even I was on Reddit, I was on r/baseball, even Yankees fans were saying, yo, the Red Sox got screwed over a little on this one. And if a Yankees fan even can step back from their hatred of the Red Sox, if they can say, okay, yeah, maybe you guys got a little screwed there, then you know it's real fucked. Like, I'm just saying. Like, there was a ball. This fastball was as close to center cut as it gets. And they called it a ball. I was like, and there was a few pitches that were, I would say, they were high in the zone, but they were still in the zone that were called balls. And then there were a few pitches for there was like 3 pitches for the Yankees. It was, they were breaking balls low and away that were clearly balls. And 3 guys, Martinez was one that he got rung up.
Bogarts got
rung up. And then another one, it was just a strike. It wasn't actually a strikeout. But still, it's like, how are we looking at the same strike zone?
Bogarts flipped his bat after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's ridiculous.
To be fair, it was almost on the line.
Mm-hmm.
It was really close. So I don't blame the ump for... If that was the one thing in that game, I wouldn't blame the ump. But it was like inning after bad call.
And I am against robot umpires. I am for keeping the human umpire because I think it is a part of the game. I completely understand. It's like, oh, it'd be objective and it would be 100% accurate. But to me, part of baseball is the fact that it's not 100% accurate, and you have to adjust your strike zone to the way the ump is calling the game. I understand that's not why a lot of people watch baseball. I think a lot of people don't like that idea. But to me, the things that I love about baseball are the little things that really that you have to account for throughout the course of a game.
The Cracker Jacks, the 7th inning stretch.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I'm fouling out this guy, Mike Estrada, or not Estrada.
Mike Estabrook.
Estabrook.
Where'd you get Estrada?
Estrada, he's a baseball player, but I can't remember who is he on. Mike. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. I'll let you go.
All right, I'm fouling out my own Pirates front office. Like year after year, we trade away our best players: McCutchen, Cole, Neil Walker, Charlie Morton. You name it. Any good player that we have on our team, Mark Melancon, gone. We just trade him away. I don't know why we're doing that. And to be fair, we drafted McCutchen. We drafted Garrett Cole. We draft a lot of these guys. So if you say oh, well, we're just going to rebuild for the draft. Well, you did, and you drafted good guys. You developed them, and then you just give them away. Like, the Astros have, 4 or 5 of our players now.
You're just a farm team now.
I feel like we're a AAA minor team. Like, what the hell is going on? Dickerson just got traded to the Phillies. Of all teams, the Phillies.
You give them to your rivals. What the heck?
I don't know what's wrong with us. It's like every year we just have a loser mentality. We'll just be like, we'll be better next year. It doesn't matter. We can draft somebody else in the draft. We'll get somebody good. Let's go downtown and get some Primati brothers. Like, come on. Like, what the hell is going down?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it best. It's the idea of a rebuild is to stock up. In the major, or in baseball, it's a little different. I think it's harder to build through the draft as it is in like NBA or
in the NFL.
In the NFL, I think in the NFL it's easiest to build through the draft because you can get so many guys late round that become impactful.
Shut up. Tom Brady won.
Well, I wasn't even referring to that, but like generally,
I thought you were still on that thing.
But what I mean by that is like the way you draft positions, like a 6th round pick at the quarterback usually isn't going to pan out, but 6th round pick for like
a strong safety.
Yeah, you know, that could be a great player. But with baseball, it usually takes some little spending in free agency to make a competitor. But yeah, you know, the idea is you maybe lose for a few seasons. You know, get a lot of assets, a lot of minor league prospects, and then you turn those prospects. You do a quantity for quality trade. You give away a few prospects to bring in maybe one big name that can help you become a competitor. But it seems like the Pirates are stuck in this loop of getting a few assets, trading them away to bring in new guys, or drafting these new guys that are impactful, and then it not being enough, and then just trading them away again for more assets.
Yeah. We got nothing for Dickerson. We got a player to be named, which is BS, so we're probably going to get some bench player, and then international bonus funds. What the hell does international bonus funds mean?
Yeah.
What is that?
I honestly don't know.
We got nothing. It's like going to like an Easter egg hunt and picking up eggs, but your basket has a hole in it. So you just come back like, oh, I got all these. I drafted all these players. I picked this one up. Oh, this one's green. This one looks cool. You come back, and it's like, shit. I don't have any eggs.
I got an empty basket.
I mean, like, it's been 40 years. 40 years since we've won the World Series. I think it's the second longest. We're only behind the Indians, who have been, I think, like 50 or 70 or something.
Wow. Now that the Cubs have won.
Pressure's coming on to us now.
Yeah.
It's just, it's ridiculous. I mean, at least we kept Velasquez, our all-star closer. Dodgers were this close to getting him.
Oh, God, if Dodgers got Velasquez, that would have been brutal.
Yeah. I mean, it'd just be awful. And our team's representing that. Our team is representing the management's attitude. We just got destroyed today 13-2 by the Mets at home. Mets.
The fucking Mets. They suck. They do suck pretty bad.
Oh, my God. We lost to them yesterday, and I think the day before. I think we got swept.
Uh-oh.
By the Mets.
Oh, no. That is mighty unfortunate.
Oh. I don't know if we lost the day before. I think we only dropped 2 to them. Still. The Mets. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done ranting. Let's get to our 3 big questions. Let's round this out.
All right. I'll pose this one to you.
All right.
Since your team, you won't have any bias since your team isn't really in this conversation. Sorry, I don't want to kick you.
Well, I mean, it could. My team's former players could be in this.
Oh yeah, just like you just root for the team that has the most players that you traded away on it. So World Series matchup after the trade deadline. One, do you think the landscape has changed a lot after the trade deadline, or do you think the same contenders are still contenders, just better?
Oh, the contenders are still the same. I think the team that I think will make the World Series from the AL has changed. It's not the Yankees anymore. I think the Astros are going to get there.
So you had Yankees before.
I was Yankees before, and now I'm Astros because I think pitching is what matters, and they have like at least three all-star pitchers on their team right now.
Yeah,
with Cole, Verlander, and Greinke. It's just absolutely ridiculous now. So I think that they're the heavyweight favorite for the AL. For the NL, I think it's the same. I think the Dodgers are still
You still give it to the
I
Dodgers?
still give it to the Dodgers. Although the Braves did make some good moves, I think that they'll be in the NLCS against the Dodgers.
That'd be an interesting series.
Yeah, I don't think the NL Central is going to pose any threat. I mean, who's in first place right
Cubs.
now? Cubs.
They picked up. I mean, they got Kimbrel. He had a rough start to his stint. I think he settled down a little bit.
They're getting better, but I think they're just a bit too inconsistent.
Yeah.
And they don't have the pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Like Arrieta's been awful.
Has he?
Yeah. Oh wait, no. Arrieta's. Who does he play for? Arrieta doesn't play for the Cubs anymore.
Is he on the Phillies?
Yeah, he's on. I think he's on the Phillies. He's been absolutely awful. But I think the Cubs pitching hasn't really been that good. They're gonna have to rely a lot on their hitting, which is also very inconsistent. So yeah, I'm going with the Dodgers. Like, yeah, when Javi Baez is your number one hitter in overall batting average, the guy that swings at literally everything, you've got some problems on your team. But yeah, that's who I've got. Astros, Dodgers.
Astros, Dodgers. I like the pick.
Repeat of 2 years ago.
No
World
Nationals.
Series. No Nats. Braves, maybe. Braves, maybe. But yeah, Nationals, no way. No way in hell.
Kidding.
They have no bullpen.
I'm kidding. All right. You got a question for me?
Yeah, of course I've got a question for you. All right. So we just talked about World Series matchup.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be highly original over here and say, what's your Super Bowl prediction?
Ooh, Super Bowl.
Totally original, totally from my own head.
Yeah.
Not something that we just came up with on the fly from
Yeah.
the previous question.
Mm-hmm.
But
Of course not. I just like to start off my answer with the statement that, ladies and gentlemen, there will not be a week without at least one football game until next February after the Super Bowl. Just let that sink in. We get football every week now.
Even that does include the Pro Bowl, which blows.
Yeah. To be fair, I know I will give you that. But still, dude, I love football.
I love football too. Football.
All right. My pick. So, out of the NFC.
All right, we're going NFC first. All right.
NFC.
Out of alphabetical order.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing we'll see is the Rams are going to be a disappointment.
Ooh. Oh.
Not
Big prediction.
Not that they'll be bad.
Okay.
I don't think they'll be bad.
But like 11-5 would be a disappointment, or like 10-6.
I was thinking like a 10-6 range.
Ooh.
I don't think they'll be really in the talk for a Super Bowl contender come December.
Ooh, but definitely a playoff team. Do you think they'll win?
I think they'll still be. I think they'll win the NFC West. I don't see any of the other teams. Maybe the 49 Seahawks. I don't really see it. 49ers, unless Garoppolo turns out to be, Brady 2.0, they'll be fine at best. And then Cardinals are gonna suck.
But it can't be an NFC East team.
No.
So where's your pick coming from?
I'm picking the Saints. I think the Saints, now that you can challenge pass interference calls, nothing stands in their way. They're definitely gonna. In all honesty, Drew Brees is the veteran quarterback you need to win a Super Bowl, or at the very least make it to a Super Bowl. Rookies very rarely succeed in the postseason. And I think you need a veteran presence, and Drew Brees is that guy. Packers, it'll be interesting to see how they look with the new head coach. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is still going to do his things, but I don't see them making the Super Bowl. So I got to go with the Saints.
Yeah, Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara are just absolute studs. I mean, and the receiving core is great as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that pick. I like that pick a lot.
And then in the AFC. Listen,
Here we go. You already know it, folks.
So I could say the Patriots, right? And mathematically, that would be a good prediction, right?
Yeah, according to 538, they have them as the number 2.
Well,
the team that's in front of them though is also in the AFC.
Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City.
See, my heart tells me the Patriots, right? I will always pick the Patriots to make it to the Super Bowl because I'm a Patriots fan. But for the sake to play devil's advocate here, I'm gonna say.
You want me to play devil's advocate?
No, I'm gonna play it for myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick the Chiefs, because I think Mahomes is a guy. He's going to his sophomore year, but I don't think he's gonna suffer from that sophomore slump. He's just too talented. Chiefs made a few moves on the defensive end. It'd be interesting to see what happens with the whole Tyreek Hill thing. I think they need him to be contenders. But if Tyreek Hill plays, I got the Chiefs.
All right. That I would probably agree with that too. I mean, I'm a big Steeler fan, but I think they'll have a tough time winning the AFC North this year, especially with how good the Browns are and how terrible we play the Ravens. Although we will always go 2-0 against the Bengals. But yeah, very interesting picks. I like it.
Yeah, not exactly groundbreaking picks.
No. I mean, hell, you're not picking the Colts or anything. But then again, I would ask if you had your head screwed on straight if you picked an AFC South team other than Houston.
Listen, at the end of the day, I could give you some stupid-ass pick like, I think it's going to be the Browns versus, I don't know, the Falcons? I don't know.
Or the Browns versus the Cardinals, because I love Kyler Murray.
Yeah, like, I could give you some, like, stupid pick that, like, is just, out there for shock value. But at the end of the day, you look at the history of the league. Teams that make the Super Bowl are teams that are built around great quarterbacks. And I'm going to pick great quarterbacks. I know I just said rookie quarterbacks don't make it to the Super Bowl.
You didn't pick a rookie quarterback.
Okay, young quarterbacks usually don't make it to the Super Bowl and win. But Patrick Mahomes, I am so high on this guy. I think this guy is going to be future Hall of Famer. Once Brady hangs it up, he's going to run the AFC for years to come. So that's why I'm picking him.
All right, bold prediction.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to our final question of the day. Raymond, what do you got for me?
Well. Do I got a question for you?
Yeah.
We're going to keep it with the NFL, right?
All right.
And you talked about this team mere moments ago. They're in your division, the Cleveland Browns. They made a lot of big moves this offseason.
They did.
Baker Mayfield has looked very good. This is a team that a lot of people are projecting to make the playoffs for the first time in about 1 million years. One, do you agree with that opinion?
Let's pull up their schedule and let's go game by game, because I think this deserves a deep analysis.
Okay.
Or at least something on both of our perspectives.
Okay.
So let's go to the regular season and let's actually talk about, can they win this game? Will they win this game? And how many games do you think they'll actually get to maybe be a postseason team?
Okay.
So they open it up with the Titans at home. I think that's a win.
I think it's a win. I think it's a tone setter for the season.
Ooh.
Because Titans are a team that will win 8 games a year, right? They're okay. They made the playoffs, 2 years ago? And if the Browns can come out and win this game, it'll show that, hey, we're not an 8-8 team anymore. We're not a 5-11 team. We look to compete. We're looking to beat the mediocre and average teams and be above that, be a 10-6, be an 11-5 team. Yeah. So yeah, I would give them the win there.
All right. Then Monday night at the Jets. Usually a game that would be a snooze fest.
Mm-hmm.
But now we've got something to watch with Baker Mayfield and maybe a little bit with Le'Veon Bell and Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Browns get this one because I don't trust the Jets.
Yeah, I Jets suck. So let's say 2-0. It is at the Jets, though.
Yeah, 2-0. But here we go into this ridiculous stretch of games. Rams, at Ravens, at 49ers, home against Seahawks, and then at Patriots. Do you see them winning more than 2 of those games?
So we're looking at Rams, Ravens, Seahawks, Patriots, because they get the Niners at Niners.
It's away.
Yeah.
It's another Monday night game too.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I think that's 2 Monday night games.
Do they usually do that? Oh,
You
yeah,
only
you're
get
right.
one usually, but I think it's 2 Monday night games that they play.
Yeah. That's a 5-game stretch. Pretty brutal. If they can come out of that 2-3,
Which would put them at 4-3 from what we're already projecting.
that would be huge because that is easily the toughest part of their schedule.
Yeah. Like, other than the Steelers that they have up next. Like,
yeah, they got Steelers 2 out of 3 weeks towards the end there.
Because I think they'll get the one at home against the Steelers. I think they'll also get the one at home against the Bills, so that's 6-3. I think they'll lose at the Broncos, 6-4.
You think they'll lose to the Broncos?
I think they'll lose to the Broncos.
Joe Flacco still got the magic.
Oh, yeah. Joe Flacco's played the Browns a lot. Joe Flacco knows how to beat the Browns. So after that game, they'll be 5-3, 6-3 against the... Oh, wait.
We got to go back.
Wait, hold on. Jesus Christ. 2-0, and then 2-3, so 4-3.
4-3, and then they'll be
4-4.
And then
5-4, 6-4, 7-4
after the
Dolphins. 7-5 after the second Steelers game. 8-5.
They got Bengals next. You think they'll win?
I think they'll beat the Bengals. I think they'll beat the Cardinals. I think they'll
on the road.
Yeah.
And they got Ravens at home.
Yeah. I think they'll win their last 4 games. I think they'll sweep the Bengals.
So you think they'll be 11-5?
I think they'll be 11. Yeah, I think they have.
You can see. I mean, looking at this schedule,
if they go 2-3 against that 5-game stretch,
that is a tough 5-game stretch, and I think so. You're looking at the month of October really defines their season.
Yeah, if they can come out net positive, or at 500, I think they'll make the playoffs.
Okay.
Because I don't think the rest of their teams that are standing in their way pose any chance. I don't think the Bills are a threat, or the Dolphins, or the Cardinals. I think that's 3 easy wins right there, even though the Cardinals is on the road. That's late in the season for the Cardinals, so that could be when they're 3-10 and they have no business playing in any games anymore. And then the Bengals always find a way to lose. So I think if they win a few games early in October, so that means maybe going on the road and beating the 49ers and going on the road and beating the Ravens, or winning at home against the Seahawks or the Rams, they definitely have a great shot at making the playoffs this year and maybe even winning the AFC North.
Wow. Yeah. That is a tough 5-game stretch. I see them losing to the Patriots. The 2 games I'll give them is at 49ers and first the Seahawks. I think they can win those 2 games. The other 3, I don't. It's real tough.
Yeah, because if you don't give them the at Ravens and the at Steelers, that puts them at 4-2 in the division.
Yeah.
Which could win the division for them.
Oh, yeah, easily. That tends to be a bit of a bloodbath in the old AFC North. Yeah, I mean, 11-5 I think is a bit of a bold prediction. I see them going 9-7 and getting a wild card.
I think 8-8 at worst. Maybe
really?
7-9, 8-8 at worst.
Okay.
And I think that would actually be a disappointment, though. If they go 7-9 or 8-8, that would be a disappointment.
Yeah, I think Browns fans have a lot of optimism coming into this season. But honestly, I think they're going to be happy to win games.
Yeah. They should be.
So, you got them going, what, 11-5?
11-5, 12-4 at best, and at worst, 7-9.
7-9. That's a good range. All right.
That's all we got.
Wow. We're going to end it here?
I think we are. I don't have anything else. I don't have any more rants, any more left in this big old noggin.
All right. So I'm going to go take you one-on-one in basketball, right?
Oh, yeah. Take me.
You know what? With that, we'll end it.
All right. Have a
See
good
ya.
one, guys.